3rd and 5. They will not go into their goal line defense. Up to the right, Hayes to the left, Allward. Saulback looking and in trouble. Now he gets away. Saulback over the 5 to about the 3, and he fouled the ball, but was he down? He was not. The Cowboys have fumbled. The Giants take over.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe leave a comment below or possibly even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But just at least anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, now this is the 52nd season, all right, since the AFL-NFL merger, which happened back in 1970. So since 1970 to 2021, this is 52 seasons, the Miami Dolphins have never beaten the New York Giants in Miami. They've the two teams have played 9 times. The Dolphins were home 4 of those times. There's a little technicality in there. One of the times they played that they were actually the home team, the game was actually in London. So the Miami Dolphins have played the New York Giants in 52 years, okay, 3 times at home. Now the Giants and the Dolphins, this is, the Giants have played the Dolphins the least of any of the teams. Back in that little history lesson for you if you don't know, 1970, actually 1969, there was the AFL, there was 10 teams. Then there was the NFL, there was 16 teams. So they merged in 1970, so you've got a 26 team league. The 10 teams from the AFL, let me see if I can round them off here. There was the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins, the Boston Patriots, Cincinnati Bengals, the Houston Oilers, the Denver Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Diego Chargers, and the Oakland Raiders. Those 10 teams were the AFL. From the NFL, there was 3 teams that went over there. The Baltimore Colts, the Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those 3 teams added to the other 10. There's 13 teams in the AFC, and then you have 13 teams in the NFC. So out of those original 13 teams in the AFC, the Giants are in the NFC. The Giants have played the Miami Dolphins the least of any of those 13 teams since the merger. They played the Chargers. They played only 12 times since 1970. They played the Oilers 12 times since 1970. They played the Bengals 11 times since 1970 from the AFC. They've only played the Miami Dolphins 9 times, single digits. And actually, the game that they're playing this Sunday against the Dolphins is like the 17th game of the season. You know, because theoretically, I mean, the Giants division, the NFC East is not playing the AFC East this year. It's just it's the 17 games. So if we still had a 16 game schedule, we wouldn't be playing the Dolphins this year. But so we played the Dolphins the least. Now the Giants have been home 5 times, and two of those times the Dolphins won it. Dolphins since 1970. Dolphins have had some nice teams. Dolphins only beaten the Giants 2 times, ever. The first time they played was in 1972. The Giants were home for 5 times. This in 1972. Then it went from 1972. The next time they played each other was in 1990. They went like 18 years without playing each other. Weird. So the Giants were home in 1972, 1990, 2003, 2011, 2019. The Dolphins were home in 1993. It took 24 seasons before the New York Giants actually played a football game in Miami. Remember, the AFL-NFL merger was in 1970. It took 24 seasons to 1993 for the Giants ever step foot in Miami to play a regular season game. Then the Dolphins were home in a 1996 game, 2007, and then 2015 the Dolphins were home. So the Dolphins were all home 4 times, as I said, but in 2007 the Dolphins were a home team, but they played the game in London. It's kind of a little special, because out of the 9 times that they played each other, okay, 4 of the times that whoever won the game actually went on to win the Super Bowl. 1972, the Miami Dolphins, that was the perfect season. They beat the Giants in Yankee Stadium in 1972. They went on to win the Super Bowl. They played each other in 1990. The Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. They played each other in 2007. The Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. Played each other in 2011. The Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. Now, the Dolphins, I think, won the last 4 games in a row, so they're on a little bit of a hot streak. And actually, their first game of the season, they won. Then they lost the next 7. But the first game of the season, they beat the New England Patriots, who are like on frickin' fire right now. But the Dolphins are, doing decently. I'm not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl, but they're doing decently. But so the first time they ever played each other was the Dolphins' perfect season. The Dolphins wound up going 17-0. It was 1972. Dolphins came into the game. They were 12-0. It was week 13. The Giants came into the game 7-5. I think the Giants had the Giants had to win their next 2 games, and they still weren't going to be guaranteed a playoff spot, because back then only 4 teams made the playoffs in each conference. But so the Giants came in at it was 7-5. The Dolphins came in at 12-0. So the Dolphins were looking to win this game and go 13-0. Then the next game, the last game of the season, they were playing home against the Baltimore Colts. And that year, the Baltimore Colts were not very good, and the Dolphins killed them. But anyway, the Dolphins wound up winning this game in 1972. They beat the Giants 23-13. The biggest thing was the Giants had 6 turnovers. The Giants could have won the game. The Dolphins had 1 turnover. Now, when you're playing a team, meaning the Giants playing a Dolphin team that is that good, you can't give them 6 turnovers. The Giants, I think, had 23 turnovers going into the game. So going into the game in 12 games, they had 23 turnovers. So basically, they were turning the ball over 2 times a game, which back then really wasn't that bad. So what did they do? It was a rainy, muddy day at Yankee Stadium. The Giants gave up 6 turnovers. There was 4 fumbles they lost, 2 interceptions. 2 of the fumbles cost them probably field goals that they could have made, and 2 of the other fumbles that they lost actually gave the Dolphins field goals. So that was pretty much the difference in the game. One of the fumbles, our 1971 first-round draft choice, Rocky Thompson, was returning the kickoff. The Dolphins were winning 7-6. He kind of fumbled or juggled at the kickoff. Started running, got out to around the 20-yard line. He fumbled the ball, and the Dolphins recovered around the 28. And a couple of plays later, they wound up kicking a field goal to go up 10-6. Then there was a punt later on in the game. It was a low punt. Somehow it creamed off of John Mendenhall, and it wound up going down around to the Giants like 15 or 16-yard line, where the Dolphins wound up recovering it, and then they got a field goal there. Bob Tucker fumbled the ball. The Giants had the ball around like the Dolphins' 28-yard line. They were doing like an end around. Bob Tucker was getting tackled. He was trying to squirm his way loose. He winds up fumbling the ball, and the Dolphins, of course, wound up recovering it. So the Giants could have had a field goal opportunity there, because you remember, they're at the 30, right? The field goals, the goalposts were on the end, right on the goal line. So if you're at the 30, it's only a 37-yard field goal. Pete Gogolak was a very good kicker. He possibly could have made that. And there was another drive. The Giants were on the Miami Dolphins' 9-yard line, and Vin Clements fumbled the ball away. And the Giants could have either maybe had a touchdown, or they could have possibly kicked a field goal there as well. So the Giants basically, blew the game. They could have beat the Dolphins. They could have stopped their undefeated streak and all that, but it is what it is. So in 1972, the Dolphins won 23-13. The next time they wound up playing was in 1990. So it was 18 years before they saw each other once again. And the Giants were home once again. The Giants wound up winning 20-3. The Giants, LT was hobbled. He was. If you ever see highlights or whatever it is, he's kind of hobbling around. Dan Marino was very lucky he wasn't fully healthy. The Dolphins had a grand with Dan Marino. Okay, at the helm. Dolphins had 7 first downs. Had 158 total yards. Dan Marino was 16 out of 33. He had 2 interceptions. He had 119 total net yards passing. We had 2 Raul Allegre field goals and 2 short Otis Anderson runs, TD runs, and there was pretty much a difference in the game. The Giants, defense just totally dominated the game, and the Giants. This was another one of the games that Giants won the game. They wound up winning the Super Bowl. 1972, the Dolphins won the game. They won the Super Bowl. Then finally, in 1993, the Giants first set foot in Miami. After 24 seasons, Dan Marino was out. He was hurt. So Steve DeBerg was in there. Now, I remember seeing this game on tape. This was just a good old fashioned slobber knocker. It was dirty, muddy. It was an entertaining game if you like the slobber knockers. The Giants wound up winning 19-14. Steve DeBerg, he got hit on his chin, and he had to come out, and he had got 7 stitches put in, and he had blood all over his jersey and stuff like that, and all that everything. Doug Peterson, the slime ball coach from the Eagles that decided to throw the last game of the season last year, and probably maybe prevented the Giants from going to the playoffs. He actually came in and he threw a couple passes in this game. But the Giants were up 19-7 in the fourth quarter, and then the Dolphins wound up throwing a touchdown pass. Ted Ginn Jr. caught a touchdown pass with about a minute to go in the game to make it 19-14. Keith Hamilton had a sack in the end zone in this game. Lawrence Taylor actually had a sack in this game as well too. Phil Simms was 17 out of 24, very just modest. But the Giants, first time they ever went into Miami, they wound up winning. They won 19-14. It was a good tough game. Then the next time they wound up playing each other was 1996. All right, it was in Miami once again. Where Dave Brown, remember him? He was the Duke quarterback, right? Another Duker, huh? He actually won this game on the road. One of his rare wins as a quarterback. Let me tell you. Dave actually was good. He was 21-28 for 169 yards and 1 touchdown. And this is one of his few wins. Both teams this season, neither team was very, very good. The Giants after this game were 6-8. The Dolphins after this game were 6-8 as well. This was the last Giants win of the season. This was the last season for Dan Reeves. He wound up getting he got canned after this season. Giants were 6-8. The next game, the last 2 games of the season, 1996, the Giants played home to the Saints. The Saints were 2-12. Saints came into Giants Stadium and beat the Giants 17-3. Then the last game of the season, the New England Patriots, coached by Bill Parcells, came in. The Patriots were 10-5 at the time. And that season, 1996, the Patriots would go to the Super Bowl. They would lose to the Packers, but coached by Bill Parcells, they would go to the Super Bowl. So the Patriots were pretty good that year. The Giants were winning 22-3 going into the last quarter. The Giants gave up 20 points in the final quarter, and they lost 23-22. And that might have just set things in motion to get Dan Reeves out of there. The Giants could have won the New England game, and they should have beaten the Saints the week before that. And the Giants could at least maybe ended up 8-8, and maybe Dan Reeves might have still had his job. Who knows? It is what it is. But after that, they wound up getting Jim Fossil in there. But 96, the Giants won 17-7 in Miami, but neither team was very, very good that year. In 2003, all right, the Giants were home, and this is the other time that the Dolphins, and the only other time the Dolphins have beaten the Giants. They won 23-10. So basically, you got about 18 years, the Dolphins haven't beaten the Giants since 2003. 2003, Kerry Collins, he was slinging it. He was a slinger. He was 31 out of 43 for 276 yards. He had he threw 3 costly interceptions. The Dolphins, the Giants defense, shall I say, would try to shut down Ricky Williams. They did as much as they could just to shut him down. Now, in this one particular play, James McKnight wound up taking like an end around. They handed the ball off to Ricky Williams. He went for like a sweep. The whole Giants defense went after him to stop him while he handed the ball off to James McKnight, which he did like an end around, and he wound up going 68 yards for a touchdown. There was some good downfield blocking by their receivers and all. But, I mean, it's just one of those things. The Giants, had 3 interceptions. They let an end around go for 68 yards for a touchdown. It just was one of those games. It just wasn't meant to be. The Dolphins wound up winning 23-10. Patrick Surtain. Now, remember Patrick Surtain, the cornerback? Patrick Surtain the third, I believe it is, with Denver. Well, his father got an interception in this game. And it helped set up a field goal. So, I mean, if you're Surtain, you're pretty good. So that was 2003. So the Dolphins beat the Giants 23-10 in New Jersey. And that was the last time the Dolphins would ever beat the Giants. The Giants, they would play 4 more times. The Giants would win all 4 times. 2007, that was the first game played in London, right? The Giants came in 5-2. The Dolphins were 0-7. Now the Giants would wind up losing this one. It'd be a little bit of an embarrassment. Now technically the Dolphins were the home team, but the game wasn't in Miami. It was in London. The Giants wound up winning 13-10. Eli Manning scored the first touchdown ever outside of like South America, because some games were played in Mexico. Right, and other games were played, obviously all the other games played in North America, but the first national football game ever played like outside of North and South America, which was played in London, Eli Manning scored the first touchdown. Giants were winning 3-0. It was about like a minute to go in the first half. Eli Manning scrambled in from 10 yards out. The Giants got the ball back, and so Giants scored 2 times in the final minute of the first half, and they kicked the field goal to go up 13-0 at half. Then the Dolphins would score 10 points in the second half to make it close, but the Giants wound up winning. Cleo Lemon, I remember him. He was the quarterback for the Dolphins. That's one of the reasons why they were 0-7. He would have 119 net passing yards. He did throw 1 touchdown. Eli Manning, he had a touchdown run, but he only had 49 net passing yards. The Giants ran the ball out that day. It was on the pitch, shall we say, in London. It was rainy. It was muddy. The field, like chunks of field would come flying up. It was just, maybe it was meant for like soccer, the light guys, but you put these heavy guys on there and running the way they do and tackling and just all that stuff. And the field was not very, very good. It was not really conducive to like much of a passing game, shall we say. Plus it was also wet too. So it was more of a running game. So the Giants did a lot of running that game. But they were prevailed. It was kind of a little ho-hum of a game. I mean, especially the Giants were up 13-0 at halftime, and the whole second half they didn't even score a point. I mean, it was kind of a brutal game to watch. But the Giants did win 13-10, and it was 2007. Once again, the team who won that game went on to win the Super Bowl. Next time they played each other was 4 years later in 2011. The Giants wound up winning that one 20-17. The Giants were the home team there. The Giants came in, it was the same thing. The Giants came into this game 5-2. The Dolphins came in at 0-7. So the Giants, once again, it was a close game. The Giants won by 3. Same thing as the 4 years earlier. Giants, once again, 2011 would win this game, going to play and win in the Super Bowl. Eli was, had a good game this week. He was 31 out of 45, 349 yards passing. He had 2 touchdown passes. The Giants had 402 total yards of offense. They actually had a good game. The Dolphins only had 246 yards of total offense, but it was a close game. The Giants would wind up prevailing, and of course, as we know, once again, they would go back to the Super Bowl and win. Then the next time they played was in 2015. The Dolphins were home, and the Giants will win this one 31-24. Eli Manning, I mean, whew, I tell you, Eli, this is he was on this game. It's 27 out of 31, 337 yards. He had 4 touchdown passes. The Giants were down 24-17 in the third quarter. Eli hit Odell Beckham Jr., remember that guy, on a 6-yard touchdown pass to tie game at 24. Then in the fourth quarter, he hit Odell on an 84-yard touchdown reception in the fourth quarter for the win. The Giants would wind up winning 31-24. I mean, that was, that right around that. Eli was still good. We had Odell coming in. Oh man, we actually had an offense back then. Special times. But anyway, the Giants would wind up prevailing that game, 31-24, and that was the last game that they ever played in Miami. Then they played one more time. It was in 2019, last time they played each other. That was in New Jersey. And, of course, that was Eli Manning's last game he ever played on the field. The Giants wind up winning that one 36-20. Eli was 20 out of 28. He was 283 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He was slinging it right to the end, baby. But he had 3 interceptions. Saquon, remember that guy, huh? He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Darius Slayton had a 5-yard touchdown reception. Golden Tate had a 51-yard touchdown reception. And even Sam Beal got in on the action. Remember that guy? Sam Beal, he had a safety. He tackled Patrick Laird in the end zone for a safety. But, I mean, that season was a lost cause for the Giants. But, I mean, what was so special of it was that it was Eli Manning's last game. He went out a winner. He was at home. They took him out of the game, gave him a standing ovation like he well deserves. And, kudos to him. But anyway, this week coming up, the Giants are playing in Miami. Now, the Giants have never lost in Miami. Let's hope that streak continues. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!